What's going on, everyone? Climate data report here for the Monday morning short-range outlook for Monday, March 13th, 2023. If you are new to the channel, this is where we do our short-range forecast for the next 24 to 48 hours. I try and do this video daily, and I also will be doing a long-range outlook later today. So hit the subscribe button down below so you are notified when that video comes out. Alright, starting off here with this satellite infrared loop, and as you can see here, we have multiple things going on. We have a coastal system that's starting to form over the Carolina coast. We also have a secondary upper level piece of energy that is over the Great Lakes. These two systems are essentially going to come together and form a major nor'easter for New England. We also have another storm system that's getting ready to come on shore in the west coast tonight, and that is going to provide yet again more heavy rainfall for California, and California is expected to see some heavy rainfall for today. Taking a look here at the latest surface map, you can see our coastal low is starting to form off the Carolina coast. It is down to 1,006 millibars. It is essentially going to continue north-northeastward, and then at some point turn back northwest towards the Cape and Massachusetts area, stall, and essentially then pull out to sea. Taking a look at today's severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, there is a marginal risk of severe storms down in Florida today, and there is a small 2% area within that for the potential for tornadoes today. Taking a look at the national hazards map, winter storm warnings are up for the Northeast. Still winter storm watches for Boston area, as there is some uncertainty in that forecast. Down in the south, we do have deep freeze warnings and deep freeze watches up for today, where deep freeze is expected tonight and possibly again tomorrow night. On the west coast, flash flood watches are up for portions of California, along with wind advisories, and winter storm warnings are up for the very high elevations of the west coast. Taking a look at the WPC excessive rainfall outlook, you can see on the west coast, northern California, and southwest portions of Oregon, there is a moderate risk for excessive rainfall today. And then you have a slight risk just south of that and a marginal risk which goes down to about central California. There is also a marginal risk of excessive rainfall today on portions of Long Island, New York City, and portions of New Jersey, as the coastal storm will bring heavy rainfall there today. Speaking of the west coast, though, let's take a look at the storm that's going to come on to the west coast. And as you can see here, rain is expected throughout the day in northern California. As we get into tonight, the next big storm starts coming into the picture and coming on shore, and central and southern California eventually get into the day tomorrow and into portions of Wednesday. How about that deep freeze that's expected in the south? Let's take a look at that. Here's the 6Z 3km NAM model, and as you can see, as we head into tonight, look at portions of Alabama, Georgia, even South Carolina. Look what happens here. Temperatures go below freezing. North Carolina and Tennessee, temperatures actually go into the mid-20s tonight, which is very cold for this time of year down there. And tomorrow night, there could be another deep freeze. As you can see here, Wednesday morning, yet again, temperatures in the 30s, below freezing from Atlanta on northward in Georgia, portions of Alabama, South Carolina, even much of the Carolinas. Temperatures are at or just below freezing. So if you have plants that are outdoors, you're going to want to bring them inside tonight. Alright, taking a look at our coastal storm. Here's where the low is forming off the Carolinas. The low is going to continue northeast. Heavy rain is expected tonight. Portions of New York City and portions of Long Island. There could be upwards of 2 to 3 inches of rain on some parts of Long Island, and even in Connecticut and Rhode Island. The question that still remains is this: what is going to happen with Boston? A snowstorm along the Hudson Valley, Catskills, up into Albany, into much of Vermont now. Even northern Vermont's getting into the higher amounts now. Western Massachusetts, northwest Connecticut, New Hampshire, that is guaranteed. That's set in stone. We know what's going to happen. The last remaining wild card is what's going to happen in Boston. We know there is going to be warm air as the coastal storm comes up. But the question is, will this coastal storm be just a little bit more west, or will it stall just a little bit more east? The RGEM model has it going just a little bit more west and providing mainly rain for Boston, where it then, look at this, you can see the low almost comes near Boston. Just west of that, and you don't have to go very far west of Boston, this is very heavy snowfall. As I advance this, the low does a little loop around Boston metro area. Then it changes over to snow in Boston as the low pulls away. If I switch to another model, let's first take a look here at the snowfall for the RGEM. And as you'll see here, the RGM snowfall, it's not all that impressive for Boston. It has generally about 1 to 2 inches, but you just go just west of Boston, not even that far, it jumps up to 5 inches. And as you can see, western Massachusetts, you're talking 10 to 18 inches of snow, maybe even isolated inches higher than that up here in Vermont, and some parts of New York State get close to 20 inches of snow. Now, if we go to the NAM model, let's pull that up. The NAM actually shows a different scenario. The NAM has the low a little bit more east. Here it comes away from the Carolinas, has very heavy rain over New York City. That we know is going to happen. New York City, you're not looking much at the way of snow now. It's looking like maybe you'll just see some wraparound snow at the end. Not expecting much in the way of accumulation. If you see it coating to an inch, consider yourself lucky. Watch what the NAM does with Boston. Here comes the low. Look at this. We have very heavy rain. This is Tuesday morning. Then look what happens. The rain changes over to snow on Tuesday afternoon and becomes heavy snow for a long period of time. As the low starts to make its loop, it does change back to rain briefly, but then goes right back to snow. The NAM is actually showing very impressive snowfall amounts for Boston. And here's the 16 NAM snowfall totals. Mind you, the RGM was completely different. The NAM is showing 8 foot of snow for Boston. It's even showing 1 to 2 inches of snow for New York City. The difference is the track of that low. If it ends up 15 miles more east, the NAM could be onto something. If it ends up 15 miles more west, the RGM could be onto something. Right now, I think for Boston, the best bet for snow is as the low is starting to pull away, we see a change over to snow, and that could be the period where you get 1 to 2 or maybe even 2 to 4 inches of snow. Should it end up slightly east, then you will end up seeing the higher snow amounts. The things that are set in stone for all the Northeast is this is going to be a long rotation event. It's going to start becoming underway this afternoon. It's really going to ramp up tonight. And the winds are going to start picking up tomorrow morning. The heavier precipitation will move into northern New England by tomorrow morning. And you're going to see a long rotation of wind and heavy rainfall along the coastal areas. Matter of fact, I am expecting that there could be moderate coastal flooding, especially like along Cape Cod, because you're going to have a long rotation period of winds bringing in storm surge into that area. Another factor is going to be the winds. With the long period of time of winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour, even 55 miles per hour in some cases. Boston's NWS is going for 55 mile per hour gusts there. There could be areas that see power outages. Another issue is this is going to be a wet snow for inland areas that see it. Not many places are going to see powdery snow just because the ratios are not going to be all that great. And because of that, you could definitely see power outages as the wind is going to be coupled with this heavy wet snow. The storm should finally exit the picture on Wednesday morning in the Northeast. And at that point, many places up in upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, even southern Maine and western Massachusetts are going to be digging out from likely 12 to 18 inches of snow with localized 24-inch areas. And as you can see here on the NAM, if its solution is correct, it's going really insane for just west of Albany, which it actually shows 34 inches of snow. I tend to think that is overdone, but that could be one of the areas that see 2 feet. Alrighty, folks, that does it for today's weather update. If you're in the path of any of these storms, or even the severe threat down in Florida today, please stay safe, and I hope you are prepared. Until next time, remember to hit that like and subscribe button down below so you know when my next video will be, and I will see you next time.